I rest my case.
It was fucking horrible!
Hello there! Okay, wow. Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here. Welcome to another opening night. I figured I'd keep these up because, wow, my Jurassic World Dominion did extremely well. Thank you all so much for watching it. So, we're gonna keep this up with, current releases. And I just got done, watching and binging through the Obi Wan Kenobi Disney Plus TV series. Now, I should point out, obviously, I'm a massive Star Wars fan. Star Wars, the original 1977 film, is my #2 favorite film of all time. It changed my life, the entire saga. I respect everything George Lucas has done, and all the stuff and so on, but when it comes to Star Wars, I know what it entails in terms of the public opinion and the criticisms and stuff. I just don't give a fuck. I am just enjoying it for what it is. So, when Disney bought Lucasfilm, and we've already been through the entirety of the sequel trilogy, which I'll even admit have problems, and, you know, the lack of world building mostly in those ones, but basically, I mean, I like Star Wars, so when they bought the franchise and they did the sequel trilogy, and then they were announcing they were doing a bunch of TV shows, one being The Mandalorian and a few other things, I was interested, because I'm thinking, okay, live-action television series, let's see how they do, and so far, from what I heard, like, things like Mandalorian and so on are pretty good. I have not watched The Mandalorian. When it comes to the TV stuff with Star Wars, I have seen the holiday special, which I think is so bad it's good. I have watched the entirety of Tarkovsky's Clone Wars. That is a masterpiece in animation. That is a masterpiece with the Star Wars prequels. That shit's awesome. I did watch a lot of 3D Clone Wars. The first 2 seasons are kind of blah, but once you hit the 3rd season, shit hits the fan. It's wonderful. I love everything the Clone Wars brought to the prequel trilogy. And then I did watch Rebels, which was okay. Did not watch Resistance. That looked like ass. And when it comes to the live-action shows, believe it or not, I have not watched Mandalorian, you know, and I have not watched Book of Boba Fett. There's some I'm still missing out on. I haven't watched even Bad Batch. I'll say this, though. Outside of Kenobi, I have watched Star Wars Visions, which is the Star Wars anime series, which I heard is being picked up for a 2nd season. Love the shit out of that, because I love the idea that there's these non-canonical anthology stories in the Star Wars universe, and they get, like, these anime artists in Japan to just do Star Wars anime. Like, I've been wanting this for so long, and it did not disappoint. I love the shit out of Star Wars Visions. So, when it comes to the Obi Wan Kenobi show, for a long time it was supposed to be a movie. It was supposed to be one of the spin-off movies. But then, Solo really did not do well, so they had to kind of push themselves a little back, saying, we still want to do these live-action projects, but maybe not as a film. And so they thought, well, let's do it as a mini-series, a TV series. Now, I will bring this up in my, I'll bring this up now. This should have been a movie. I think this should have been a movie, and if people wanted more, there could be an extended version. I think this should have been maybe a 2-part movie event, split into 2 films, and just gone with it. I think that would have been a hell of a lot stronger in terms of just what audiences are craving for when it comes to this particular story in the Star Wars universe. So, with Obi Wan Kenobi, I was watching it all throughout the last few weeks. I did see the first 2 episodes when they aired during Celebration. I mean, I wasn't at Celebration, although I need to at some point. And I did watch them every week. And I, like a lot of people, I really liked this show. Like, this was a really good miniseries, and it was just, it felt good, you know? It felt good to have some good Star Wars content again. And it mostly stems from the 2 returning cast members, although there are plenty in this series. Of course, being Ewan McGregor as Obi Wan Kenobi, and Hayden Christensen as Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, and they made this thing work so goddamn well. I will say, like, okay, so story-wise, you think, okay, well, it's going to be about Obi Wan Kenobi on Tatooine, raising Luke, and, you know, Uncle Owen's like, stay away from my nephew, and, I mean, like, there's that one scene where it's like, oh, well, the time comes, he must be trained. He's like, oh, like, he trained his dad? I was watching the Celebration reaction, you could hear it, it was like an episode of The Maury Show where they're just like, oh, shit, when, like, Owen said that, but it was really kind of, you thinking, okay, that's going to be the show. Well, they kind of do a little bit of a 180 where the show is not necessarily like the MacGuffin character that Obi-Wan is supposed to look after. It's not Luke Skywalker. It's actually Leia. Yes, Princess Leia is in this. And the child actress they got for her is so well, like, performed. What a great actress that she's gonna have a career. Like, she is absolutely fantastic in this. So, it focuses on, basically, Leia Organa, and that, of course, means, you know, Senator Organa. Jimmy Smits is back, so it's always good to see him. And we focus a lot on Alderaan in the first 2 episodes. So, Leia has been captured by a set of bounty hunters hired by Inquisitors, which are the, you know, Jedi bounty hunters, but they're, like, dark side users. They're not Sith, necessarily, and one of them is Reva, who is determined to hunt down Obi-Wan Kenobi to prove herself to Darth Vader. And so, it mostly focuses on Obi-Wan, getting Princess Leia from her kidnappers and taking her home, but there's all this conflicts in between because he's trying to evade detection because he is the most wanted Jedi in the galaxy. I mean, probably next to Yoda, but most people would assume Yoda is dead. So, basically, yeah, it's not, so, obviously, there is a lot of conflict. Obi-Wan realizes that Anakin's still alive after leaving him on Mustafar, and then Anakin realizes Obi-Wan's alive, and this is where, I'll be honest, the show really shines. Darth Vader is a goddamn psychopath. He is a serial killer. He's like Michael Myers on God mode. He is so obsessively determined to find Kenobi that he is torturing people, like, in the most brutal way where it's almost uncomfortable. He is choking people out. His rage and his voice, his grunts, he is mad. And kudos has to go to Hayden Christensen, who did the majority of the work, the stunt crew, standing crew, and just fucking James Earl Jones. Now, I know James Earl Jones, like, yes, is back as Darth Vader, but I heard something about AI, which you could totally tell is an AI voice operator, artificial intelligence, basically, because James Earl Jones is like 92, and I think they learned, I'll admit, I do like the fact that they kind of learned their mistakes, Disney, from Rogue One and The Lion King 2019. Yes, it's nice to have James come in for a few lines, but quite frankly, the guy's old, and yeah, it sucks he's not able to project the voice he once had, but in this case, I think actually the AI works in their favor, and it actually, in technical terms, allows Darth Vader to live on past their original actors. Like, you could put anybody in that suit and put it over James's AI voice, and it would work. It would work extremely well. So, the technology is there, and it goes far beyond you would see from, like, a YouTube poop mix sentencing. Like, it actually does sound pretty seamless that they're able to tone his voice and change the voice and the lower pitch, higher pitch, or the you know, loudness and everything. And the part that got me to make me realize, okay, this is where we're at with Star Wars and with technology, was when Vader's sitting there with talking to the Inquisitor, and she's like, well, the Grand Inquisitor, and he's like, the Grand Inquisitor means nothing. Kenobi is all that matters now. Is that understood? Like, they got it down, and then to hear his rage also helped, where he's just like, he's choking out Reva, and he's like, you were warned what defeat would bring. Like, the emotional power with Vader in this is extremely strong, and this is some of the best Darth Vader we've seen since Rogue One, and that is the one thing Disney has actually done right, is that they don't fuck around with Darth Vader. They don't try to mess up his story. They don't try to mess up his reputation. They kind of bring back the scares, the fear, the rage, the anger, the idea that this guy's a monster, and he will do anything to get what he wants. It is terrifying. It's absolutely, like, horrifying. There is a scene where he's torturing a village, like, and it's really uncomfortable to sit through, and you're with Obi-Wan where you cannot come out, because he will kill you, but at the same time, he's now torturing innocent people to lure you out, and it's sickening. And it's like, that, I'm just like, that makes a great villain. It's good to see Vader on top as one of the greatest baddies of fiction. He is fantastic. So, there's that happening for the show. The conflicts between Obi-Wan and Vader are awesome. Like, there are 2-3 fights in this show. One's a flashback that goes back, actually, to pre-episode 2, which I like. This is very much a prequel fan's dream, essentially. So, we get to see them train, and it mirrors images that would happen in the future. I know a lot of people complained about Hayden's, they didn't really de-age him much, which I'll admit could have been tweaked up a little bit, but maybe it was, honestly, I think Hayden's comfortability. Maybe he just wanted to show his full self as is. He didn't want to do much of that deepfake stuff. So, I'll give him props to that. So, there's that going for it. And this is also the first Star Wars series to use a lot of flashbacks, I think, too, right? Like, this is one of the first ones. So, that was interesting to see. But yeah, it's an action show. It's got good action, it's got good... the humor works pretty well, the drama is where it's at. I'll just say this, just to kind of get to spoilers, essentially, the final episode, the final 2 episodes, I really enjoyed. You not only have Vader pulling some serious moves where he's, like, taking his ship and using the Force. It is some Force Unleashed stuff, and trying to, like, rip it through. Like, again, he's a monster. But then you have Reva, who turns out was a youngling at the Jedi Temple during Order 66, which I did like those flashbacks, and we see more of it. It is something about Episode 3 that really pissed me off, is that they kept cutting away to the Jedi Temple raid. And the only way you could get sort of an expansion of that scenario was in the Episode 3 video game, which I did like. But in this one, damn, it's dark, because not only does the opening episode open with an Order 66 flashback in the temple, unfortunately very bad timing because of the current events going on in the United States, that actually Disney Plus had to put in a disclaimer saying, due to current events, please watch with caution. Kudos to Disney to, like, thinking about the families and stuff suffering. So, but not only that, we see him cut a few kids. And it's unnerving. It's unsettling. It's just, wow. Holy shit. Like, wow, you had the balls to do that. Like, Disney. George wouldn't even do that. So, I was actually very impressed with the fact how dark... This is probably, out of the entire Disney era, the darkest installment that they've done, and I love it for that. It is fantastic. But also just, like, basically Reva has been secretly being an Inquisitor and trying to build herself up in rank just to get to Darth Vader, just to kill him, because she knows that's Anakin who betrayed everything. So her only mindset is revenge, and not for Obi-Wan, but for the Sith. She wants to destroy Vader, and it's very anime. It's very much an anime storyline trope, which I do respect the writers for actually kind of going for, because it kind of reminded me of Kagra, where she was evil at heart, she had done evil deeds, but it was all just to get close enough to Naraku to just kill him, which she never accomplished. But in this, I do like the fact that she's been building herself this whole time just to kill Vader for killing her friends in the temple, and then by the end of it, it was for nothing, because Vader's just like, yeah, I knew your plight, I just fucked around with you. Another thing that kind of supplements Darth Vader as one of the greatest baddies. He likes to fuck with people, and it's also to get what he wants. So, that was something interesting. And I'll just go into a little bit of a rant. For all the really awful, racist percentage of toxic fans in the Star Wars community that, quite frankly, has not been happy with a single goddamn new Star Wars thing since 1997 with the special editions. Get a fucking life. Get a life and quit treating every new installment of Star Wars like somebody's ripping pages from the Bible. It's like, Star Wars is a hobby. It's not a religion. It's not a lifestyle. I cannot believe I have to say that. I like Star Wars. I love Star Wars. But I'm not going to treat it like a religion. I'm not going to treat it as a guide to life, because guess what? It's a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and it's fiction. It's make-believe. It's a show for all audiences. It's not going to be your hard R erotic fan fiction. And it's meant to open up imagination and creativity. It's not meant to, you know, do certain things according to your standards, which is horseshit. You know? Like, I just cannot believe it. And, yeah, sure, some of the installments have had their problems. But sometimes you just gotta accept what it is and kind of enjoy it for that. That's the same mindset I had with Dominion, is that I heard it was so bad that when I started to kind of get into it, I kind of enjoyed it. So the same thing. Now, I'm not saying Dominion is a masterpiece or a work of art or anything. It's still a crapshoot. But sometimes you can just take that crapshoot and just be entertained. If it's not going to be your big, emotional, impactful finale, fine. Just watch it and try to just ignore that and enjoy yourself. So with Kenobi, and any new Star Wars material for that matter, I just enjoy it for what it is. And I don't be a bum picker, as I put it. There's nitpicking, there's nose picking, there's shit picking. This is a bum picking. These motherfuckers just will hate for the sake of hating, and even I can't stand it anymore. I've actually, not only did this Obi-Wan show get me back into kind of encouraging me to work on more of the prequels now that Batman's done, by the way, but also it kind of makes me want to go back and rewrite some of the reviews to be a bit more positive, because I'll just be upfront, there were times in some of these reviews I was very harsh to a lot of people involved, and now, because just seeing how much hate Star Wars has gotten, and seeing how much the toxic just will not leave, I'm going back and kind of rethinking what I have to say about the prequels, because it's not the people who made it. Like, there's a lot of people in play, but it's not entirely their fault. So, I'm going to dial it back a bit. And actually, I'm really going to try to give it a little minor spoiler with the prequel reviews. I am going to give them a bit more of a positive light, because I did enjoy the prequels. So, the last episode. Moving on. We're talking about Kenobi. The last episode was really good. Like, emotionally impactful. The final fight between Obi-Wan and Vader was well worth it. The choreography is fantastic. It's a really good, almost, bridge between the prequel era of combat and the original trilogy of combat, where, because when you get to episode 4, the original Star Wars, Obi-Wan and Vader, they're an old man and a rusted mechanical being, and in this one, you have a Jedi that is starting to get his groove back, but he's still a bit rusty, and the only advantage that Vader has is that, yes, he is a broken motherfucker, but he's got, like, mechanical enhancements to help his abilities. So there's a lot of power plays involved. The amount of use of just brutal battles within, like Obi-Wan not wipes the floor with Vader, but it leads to a very emotional scene that is, holy shit, the writing's amazing, where obviously they do the whole Rogue One thing where Obi-Wan cuts Vader's mask, which, okay, you've done it twice now, Star Wars, let's not do it again. Let's do something different when Vader gets his mask damaged. Let's do like what they did in like The Force Unleashed, where it's like half of it's completely removed, or do something else with it. Don't just do the cut Two-Face thing. And basically, Obi-Wan sees Anakin behind the mask. It is Hayden. And Hayden's just there saying, yo, Obi-Wan, Anakin's gone. I'm what remains. You created this shit. But I am not your failure. And this is the part where I just got chills. Was where he says, you didn't kill Anakin. And he just brings his brow down. And he looks just so satanically evil. And he says, I did. And it's a way to just taunt Obi-Wan, basically saying that Vader is in full control, and basically saying, I murdered your friend from within, and now I'm going to do the same to you. And then Obi-Wan says a very poetic line that actually has more meaning in Return of the Jedi. So Obi-Wan tells Vader, then my friend is truly dead. And he actually, when he leaves, he says, and say goodbye, Anakin. He says, goodbye, Darth. Again, matching it up with episode 4, where he's like, only a master of evil, Darth. And then eventually, and then obviously I love the fact that Anakin is just so enraged. He's just shouting, oh my God! Like, he's mad. Like, they knew exactly what to do here. But in Return of the Jedi, when Luke tells Vader, he's trying to say, search your feelings, Father. And Vader's like, it is too late for me, son. The Emperor is your master now. And then Luke says, then my father is truly dead. Now you can look at that scene and look at Vader, and he's now in conflict, realizing, oh, Obi-Wan said those words like 20 years ago. God damn it! And now he's conflicted. It adds more meaning to those sequences for the future films. So I do give it props to that. And at the end of it, it wraps up pretty nice. Leia goes back to Alderaan, and Obi-Wan tells her about her parents and how nice they were. They played the Leia theme. It was nice to give Leia some much-needed respect here. But then Obi-Wan goes back to the homestead, and Owen and him actually kind of rekindle a little bit and say, you know what, Matt? Because the opening of the show, Owen hated Obi-Wan for, fucking up his family, and now he's trying to protect him from him. But at the end of the day, he looks at Obi-Wan saying, you know what, Obi-Wan? You did the right thing. You're very protective of the boy here. Yeah, you can be somewhat in his life. And at the end, he says, hey, you want to meet him? And then he goes up to Luke, young Luke Skywalker, and he's like, hello there. And it's very much the pitch. He was obviously, Ewan was trying to aim for more of the Alec Guinness, which I do like. That it is sort of that bridge. But the last scene, god damn it, is what got me. Because the whole time they've been hinting at, because what's one of the reasons Obi-Wan went to Tatooine? Not just to look after Luke, but to train to be a Force ghost by Qui-Gon Jinn. And it was going to be hinted, Qui-Gon was supposed to be in episode 3, but I think they just didn't have time. But then they've been teasing it since the first episode that Qui-Gon would be a part of this show. And he's in the last scene, and yes, it's Liam Neeson. And what I love about this scene is that when we first see him, it's faded out, it's meant to be a big reveal for the audience, and Obi-Wan's like, Master Qui-Gon, and Qui-Gon just says, it's about time you showed up. It's so unexpected, because Qui-Gon has always been this wise Jedi, not really cracking a joke, but I do like the fact they made a little bit of humor in this, and not only, because, he's literally standing there like, it's about time you showed up. It's like, I've always been here, Obi-Wan, come on, let's go. Let's go have an adventure. And it's almost like seeing these two old geezers, these two old pals that haven't seen each other in years. They finally are sitting at a park bench, and they just go and get ice cream or some shit. They're the same as they were before, and it's really masterful. And one thing I will say, it took me back to being a little kid watching these two in episode 1. It had very episode 1 vibes, and minor spoilers for my prequel reviews. I love The Phantom Menace. Fuck off if you hate it. But just, those two were the best part of that movie. To see them again at the very end. And it's sort of like the Jungle Book where, Baloo and Bagheera are going off back into the jungle best pals. It's awesome. And now it's I've heard rumors they want to do a second season. Can it just be about these two guys just grabbing a drink and chilling? I would watch that. To see Obi-Wan train with Qui-Gon, let's go there. Liam Neeson's one of those actors that never ages, so just get him to come in and be a Force ghost for Kenobi. I would love that. That would be amazing. And so, it was just really cool to see Liam Neeson again. Liam Neeson has always been fond of playing Qui-Gon, and it's just good to see him in live action. But he kind of comes off as, the drunken Kung Fu master a little bit in his humor. So it's Jedi Master Roshi in a way. So, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do another season, and if they do, it should just be these two. Because these two guys are great. These two guys have such good chemistry, and we were it's kind of like the Darth Maul situation, where Darth Maul was underused, and Lucas felt bad for it, so he put him back in Clone Wars. So, can we do the same with Qui-Gon? He does not get enough love, and Qui-Gon Jinn is awesome. So, I just love the ending, and I overall did like this show. It was a nice little mini-series, which I think better benefits the live-action Star Wars shows if they're just these micro-series that are just side stories, which are really good. Now, I think Kenobi should have one more season. Don't do any more after that if you're going to continue it. But this was a good startup. I will admit my only flaw is that you can tell the budget's a little low because it is a TV budget, so they have to cut corners. And there's moments I do agree with a lot of people, it looks like a fan film. A very expensive fan film. And I'll even say this, they might have taken some inspiration from the Star Wars Theory Vader fan film. It does feel very like that, especially when Palpatine shows up at the end. He looks like the actor from that fan film, and I know Hayden was kind of saying recently, I would love to do a Darth Vader show, which they should do, and it should be super de-duper dark, but, I don't know, get Star Wars Theory on that. I think he could actually direct a really good series for you guys at Lucasfilm. You know, he's a very much a supporter of you guys. Go for it. So, overall, I loved Kenobi. It was a good time. It felt good to see these characters again. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'd give it a really good solid, about an 8 or 9 out of 10. This was very entertaining, and it was really dark. It was really good to see Star Wars aimed a bit more for the adult audience and for the people who grew up with the prequels. Less a kid's show. And I would even say, this one may not be for young children. I would wait a little bit till they're a little older to appreciate Obi-Wan. So, I did like this show, really enjoyed it, had a blast, and I don't know, if you guys want me to watch more Star Wars shows, let me know in the comment section below. I do want to watch Mandalorian, I've heard good things about that. And I've only watched one episode of the Book of Boba Fett, but that was only because of the Kong reference they put in. But let me know your thoughts on the Obi-Wan show in the comments below. What's your favorite episode? What's your favorite scene? And don't forget to support our Patreon. Just $1 more will get you access to all of our content as well as other special features. If you donate $5 a month, you get an opening eye of your choice. We already are getting requests at the wazoo, so I gotta get back on that. I do need to see a couple other movies, but my schedule, we're just really on the last minute touches of Batman, and I'm probably gonna take this weekend off and just enjoy a little bit, because I've been working for 2 months on this. But, yeah, thank you all so much for watching this opening night. Enjoy the rest of your day. Like, comment, subscribe, share your video, watch our other content, and I will see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off, saying, hello there. May the Force be with you. The prequels are coming. Bye.